Annabelle, as always. Welcome back. So we're doing our Bates Motel series review. We are up to season one. We're still on season 1, episode 5. So, at the end of the last episode, we see Norman getting arrested, being put in jail and everything. Picks up right with her in jail and everything. Boys come and see her. Norman and Dylan come and see her and stuff, try and figure things out. Norman is very much like, you know what, no, this is my, this is my problem, you guys go home, blah, blah, blah. I think in a way, kind of, she's a little pissed because, with Dylan and Norman and everything, and all this, and, she just kind of is like, whatever, it's her deal. They find out that her bond is set for $100,000. They're kind of like, okay, where are we gonna get this money? And they ended up, deciding to kind of, use the hotel as collateral. Norman actually finds the deed to the hotel to try and, get her out and everything, which he ends up doing. So, in the meantime, Dylan, actually, was kind of asking, his little work buddy, Ethan, who has kind of, befriended him and everything, showing him the ropes and everything with his, babysitting a pot business shenanigans. Dylan actually asks, he's like, hey, how can I get an advance, on my pay and stuff, some stuff's kind of come up. And Ethan's well, how much do you need? Dylan says, I need $5,000. Ethan's kind of like, well, that's kind of a lot of money, especially since you're new too, but what do you need it for? Are you in trouble? Dylan kind of explains hey, I just want to kind of get my own little place, maybe bring my brother in, and live with me and stuff, and just let him have his own little freedom. A few days later, Ethan very generously actually gives Dylan $5,000 of his own money. Basically because he even told Dylan you might not want to ask for money from these guys, because if you can't pay up when it's due, you don't want to see what would happen, it's just give you fair warning. So Ethan, like I said, kind of pretty much puts up his own money to help him out, but within a few seconds, this guy comes over to the truck that they're in and shoots Ethan. So I guess Dylan's kind of off the hook to repay him back the $5,000. I don't know. I guess. So all this shit keeps happening and everything, just shiznit and everything. And then I know Norma kind of meets up with the cop dude that she was kind of hooking up with before and everything, and with this Asian girl and everything. And, she kind of confesses, dude, I really loved you and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And he's still kind of playing her of, oh, yeah, it's been so hard, I've had to put on this, front and stuff, and, seeing you in the prison cell and everything, the jail cell, blah, blah, blah. It's dude, dump this guy's ass, Norma, come on. But, I gotta give this guy props, because he, miraculously kind of takes the fiber sample from Keith Summers' evidence and everything. Little do they know that, he was the one who took it, but Norman kind of knows that he took it, but no one else knows. So, so when her lawyer calls and is like, hey, the case has been dropped, you're off the hook on this murder, and it's because, the carbon fiber went missing, you're kind of whew, how is she really going to get out of this one? And even when I first was watching the series, when it first was airing on A&E years ago, I was kind of okay, how is she really going to, get out of this? She clearly killed this person. Are they just going to do this for, one season and that's it? But no, this is, kind of their way of getting out of having to continue the story and everything. Or at least the murder charges and everything, because we still got the Asian girl that is that was in the cop's house and everything, then kind of ended up disappearing. So Norman, his little friend, Olivia Cook's character, Emma, you know, they're kind of like brainstorming, like, okay, well, where did this girl go? Like, you know, she's obviously still alive, because, like, that would be a bigger charge and everything. Like, we really suspicious if she did end up dying, even though no one knows about her. Um, so they're kind of like, okay, well, where could she have gone? Where could she have gone? And then, light bulb! Keith Summers had a boat. He had a boat that is still sitting in the lake or whatever, because I don't know. And I guess apparently, well, it makes sense that this other cop would actually have access to this boat, because they're all kind of like this war, or at least they were this like tight knit group. Summers, Romero, and this other cop and everything. So of course, the cop puts this girl on Keith Summers' boat and everything to kind of like hold her hostage. And yeah, so they find her. They actually managed to take her with them and everything. I mean, the girl's kind of freaking out and everything. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? They're like, no, we're gonna take you, you know, with us and everything. And at this point, like, you know, because Norman has told Norma about the cop, you know, that she's trying to like hook up with and she's so in love with and everything. You know, he's been trying to tell her, like, hey, like, this is what's going on. She does not believe him, still does not believe him. So Emma and Norman bring this girl back to the hotel and everything, and she's sitting on one of the beds in one of the rooms or whatever, and here comes Norma. She's like, who the hell is this? What is going on? This is going too far. So the girl's kind of freaking out, but doesn't really speak a whole lot of English. So Norma's like, all right, I'm going to prove this kid wrong. I'm going to prove my son wrong that, you know, this guy that I'm so in love with is not this monster he's trying to, like, portray him out to be. So she gets, like, a paper with the guy's picture on it with, like, two other people, and she's like, do you recognize any of these guys? You know, is one of these guys the ones who took you? And she points right at the guy who she's in love with and kidnapped this girl. So that's when, you know, she realized, like, crap, you know, like, what have I been doing? I've been feeding all this information to this guy and everything that I thought I could trust. I obviously cannot trust. So, but that is pretty much, you know, the episode in a nutshell. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, a lot more, revelations and everything. You know, you see a lot of that, you know, as we're going along in the series, you do see a lot of that, like, trust issues and jealousy, once again, with, like, Norman and everything, and even Norma being kind of, like, it could be viewed sort of as, like, a naive, just out of touch mother, but I think you also kind of start seeing a little bit with her and her character, itself, that it's, like, she's got her own problems, and it kind of makes sense of why, you know, Norman would be a little, like, messed up in the head as well, and just not quite understanding the whole, like, rules of reality and all this. So it's, you know, in, like, the real world and everything. So, but yeah, it is, like, so far, you know, you guys, for those of you who have not, you know, seen the series yet, or kind of are watching it, to go along with this, review and everything, so much more to, uncover and everything. So till next time, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.